Namaskar. I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. You're watching us live on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. This is our online training program on development of video resources. This training program is brought to you by Central Institute of Educational Technology, that is CIET-NCERT New Delhi. As you all know, it's a 5-day, 5-hour online training program where each day we bring different topic along with different expert who sheds light on the same. Today we are in day 5 of the training session where the topic that we are taking up is evaluation and dissemination of video resources. So what exactly evaluation means and what is the process of dissemination? What are the challenges that one faces, and when it comes to feedback, how that one is generated? We will be talking about it in this journey, and if you have questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. Our phone number is 8800440559. Our email ID is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in, and on our YouTube handle NCERT Official, you can send us your questions, suggestions and of course your feedback. Since it's a training program, there is going to be an assessment as well. The details of the same will be shared with you by the end of the training session today. So please stay tuned and watch the session very carefully. And now please join me in welcoming my guest for the session, Dr. Ruchi Dwivedi. Ma'am is Assistant Professor from Media Production Division of CIET-NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, namaskar and very warm welcome to you.
Namaskar, Harpreet. Thanks a lot.
Ma'am, it's a very fruitful journey so far, where this week we have been learning about development of video resources. We learned why they are important. We also learned about script writing, how we can record and film the videos, how we can edit them. And now comes the most important part, evaluating and disseminating those video resources. I mean, making them available to the targeted learners. Now, before you delve deep into the presentation, I request you to kindly apprise us all what exactly you will be covering in the session today.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thanks a lot for providing me this opportunity. And as you had told me and you are asking me that what basically we are going to cover in the upcoming session, basically we want and we are going to understand about how the video resources are important and more and other than importance, how we are required to evaluate it and disseminate it. And even in the case of dissemination, that dissemination should not only lead a one point that it has been given, it should lead to that point that it will be reached till the level to whom we are actually been addressing. So that is one of the major point what we are going to cover for today's session.
Right.
Okay. Because the first question what you had asked about it is basically
what is evaluation?
Yes, and before that I had given one a simple line also over here that when we are going to talk about the video, video is one of the most powerful medium that we have today when we want to understand this complex concept. So that is the first and the foremost thing what we know about the videos. Now when we are going to talk about the Indian education system, and we can't deny the importance of NEP 2020. The NEP 2020, when the various institutions like CIET-NCERT, that are own institutions, are working day and night to develop thousands of hours of high quality video content in the multiple languages. Okay, so we are working so hard.
Yes.
We are working for a continuous time, not only to develop, but even to develop a quality level of content.
Absolutely.
Now when we are going to talk about the quality level of content, the first and the foremost thing which is going to come over here, a critical challenge. Whatever the video program is there, is it going to be a good teaching tool? That question is very, very important, that whatsoever the effort we are providing, whatsoever the effort we are actually giving to make it in such a way, to make it engaging, to make it interesting, to have a pedagogical feeded data, information, is it something, it is a good teaching tool? In that case, we need to understand one of the basic point, that camera is not teaching. It's not like that. If we had got all the best facility, all the best technical logistic things over here, it is going to provide us a very good thing. For that, we need to understand that we have two pillars that can actually turn a simple video. I'm talking about a simple video. I'm not at all talking that it must be having so many things, but even a simple video can be converted, transformed into a powerful educational asset, and that two assets are, that two pillars are evaluation and dissemination. Evaluation is talking about checking its quality in a very layman language, and dissemination is having an ensurement that it reach till the learner for whom it has been prepared, or we can say target audience.
Right.
Well, before proceeding little bit more about it, that what is basically talks about in evaluation, what basically we want to talk about a dissemination, I just request to provide a small clipping which is being just giving a brief idea that what is actually a video, and specifically make one point very clearly over here, that don't look at a technological part, try to understand it at the learning part. So I just request to go for having a video that we can play over here. This is just a small clipping, nothing, I mean just a small clip over
Sure.
here.
And also in some models to make you understand their real arrangement in natural way in our body. Let's now see the skeleton and these bones the way we have them in our body. Children, we have reached near skeleton and I'm quite excited to see all the bones in one vision, in one go. I'm sure you are equally interested to know about placement of these bones in our body, which we are going to discuss along with this skeleton. As you know, skeleton, there are two main divisions, axial skeleton, in which comes the skull, the vertebral column and the rib cage. As the name indicates, axial means axis. It makes axis of the body, and that is our head, our chest and the vertebral column. And other division is appendicular skeleton, which is going to include pectoral girdle, pelvic girdle, limbs, hind limb and the forelimb. Let me start explaining the bones in this skeleton, starting with head, which is part of axial skeleton. You can see skull here. It has two parts, the cranium and the facial bones. There are 8 bones in the cranium and there are 14 bones in the facial region. The cranium bones are attached to each other by sutures, so they don't move much. Facial bones are making the face. This is the lower jaw. You will be surprised to know that this lower jaw is part of skull, a continuation from skull, and this is the jaw which is movable. The upper jaw is not movable. Try to masticate something and you will see only lower jaw moves, and movement of lower jaw allows you to eat, to speak and use your mouth accordingly. You can also see the eye sockets where eyeball are kept. The eyeball completely fits into this and you can see only the exposed part of the eye. You can also see a small hole here through which the auditory canal goes. It is ear. You can see the arrangement of teeth on the two jaws. So this is making the skull. Coming to second part of axial skull.
Wow. What a video.
This is a video which was actually being developed by our own NCERT at
Very
CIET
nice.
itself, and you can able to observe 2 to 3 things. I just want to ask 2 to 3 things also. We had learned about the skeleton,
Yeah.
but from our naked eyes we are not in a position to observe it.
Yes.
But with the help of video you can able to identify that we can able to see the things clearly.
Yes.
Even if you can able to observe, it's not only 1 or 2 options with which we can able to observe the video. We could scan it, the QR code, we could have a click that where we can able to provide a link.
Yes.
So the thing is that whenever we are going to talk about any sort of resources, how we are going to provide it, that also matter.
Yes.
Even if I want to talk about it, one thing that what I can ask you, that you might feel the topic little bit simpler to understand, because this
Yes.
is not very, common topic which is used to come in our daily life. But I think some sort of simplicity you identified, or some sort of understanding you identified over here, if I want to ask you.
Absolutely, ma'am, because if I read it in a textbook, then there's so many things that are abstract in nature. I won't be able to understand the diagram completely, but here I can touch and feel the skeleton right in front of me. Then there's a teacher pinpointing on the skeleton certain points and also doing the narration at the same time. I could see the subtitling coming. There's another, it's very important for inclusivity because not everyone understands the language the teacher is speaking.
Exactly.
So yes, it actually made this complex subject or topic very simple to understand.
Yes, so I had just shown you the clipping of only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We could have it of 15 minutes. We could have it of 20 minutes. There might be glitches also. You can able to identify in some of the position the caption might be having a mistake.
Yes.
There might be a possibility that during the when we are going to work on it, there might be a possibility that it might be not working as we are expecting it.
Yes.
But the point is very clear over here. The simplicity what you identified over here in terms of understanding the content, that is not at all accidental. That glitches could be accidental.
Yes.
Okay, that what sort of dissemination what we are trying to give over here, what sort of information we want to give over here, that information is not accidental, it is actually engineered. And when we are going to talk about engineered over here, we can understand the points with the help of the three basically very majorly points. That first of all, cognitive load optimization, where basically we are actually working for minimizing of extraneous visual stimuli that basically direct the learner to have an attention on it. Just I had shown you this clipping for only 1 or 2 minutes. Maximum to maximum, and then also you will be in a position to answer it, that you can able to see the skeleton, you can able to touch it, you can able to feel it, you can able to identify the parts. All these things is basically giving learner a thoughtful process to focus on that particular position of the video. Second thing, seamless synchronization. You can able to identify over here that the teacher, the expert was explaining as well as pinpointing the positions also. That's what you had said. You can able to identify the labels. It's not been given in a 2D format only. It was given in the 3D format, and there is a seamless synchronization, and that been considered as a part of principle of temporal contiguity. And the third part, because all these things are for learners, even we can able to modulate the pace to match the cognitive maturity, that is giving that a learner the necessary mental breathing room. Breathing room is actually works over here, that once the student or the learner will be in a position to understand one point, then the student will be in a position to proceed for another point.
Right.
So that the space has been over there from where one point to another point, the things can be understood, and then only in total it can considered as a complex topic to be simplified in such a manner that any learner of that particular age can understand this point.
That's what I also felt, that it's very learner centric, because I could identify the video was planned keeping in mind the target audience, the age group. Yes.
Now more than that, because as I had already told you, sometimes the topics are quite abstract, sometimes the topics seems to be abstract, but when we understand it, then we came to know, no, it's not that much abstract. So even for that also, this all examples, when we want to talk about to the system level, even we can able to observe it with respect to our NEP 2020, because we have to fall or we have to cover our NEP 2020 in each and every aspect. We can even have an opinion also.
Right.
So every time or many time that opinion could be subjective. Might be you are knowing this topic, that's why you find it good. Might be possible that if the person is not very much aware about that particular topic, that topic might be considered as, no, it's not that much easy. That also can be done. This also can be done. All such type of things can come up, and that can all be taken under the subjective opinion, that can be transformed or can be replaced to the standardized protocol. And even for that also, CIET-NCERT had developed a guideline. You can able to observe 2 booklets are there, even the sources is also been given, which has not only been working for developing to a particular group of students, even to include the inclusivity also. And in total, we can able to say a robust instructional validity framework, that also. So it's not about giving an opinion, giving an options, and giving a subjective, perception is going to consider under the evaluation. Evaluation also need to have a standardized protocol. So that's also very important. And if I want to give you a very brief point of view over here, every video resource, because we are talking about a video resources, over here we are having a variable as a video resource, every video resource can undergo a forensic audit against these 4 critical standards or dimensions. The first one talks about truth standard, because first and the foremost thing is that we should have a content validity. And over here, the point is that we should require to ensure the alignment with our national curriculum framework, which actually guarantee the substantive accuracy, the elimination of the conceptual distortion. If we are aiming to provide the information of one content, it is our duty that the particular video should cover that particular content at that particular area. Second, content has been covered, but again, learning standard. Each and every content is not going to be equal for each and every student, although each content is right. For that purpose, pedagogical design required to be taken care of, and that basically comes by operationalizing the NEP 2020 mandate for competency-based learning, where we are going to provide a learner such type of information which has actually been valid for that particular age group. Coming towards the third one, of course, we are talking about digital, we are talking about ICT, we are talking about, I can say, e-content. We can't deny the technical fidelity. We need to understand the point that usability, I had prepared very good content, might be. I had given a very pedagogical standard to it. But technologically, it is not falling under that. That also matters. So even for that also it is important that we should go with the e-content standards. That's what I was talking about, that we are having a standard protocols that is also been developed, and even on which platform we are be working, having an interoperability over there, that we should have an understanding that what information we are providing, it's not only matter that how we are providing, even the mode also matters. And even how we are going to provide it, that also need to be have a clarity. Every time, everything could not be given at one platform.
True.
That is a reality. So we need to take care of that also. And finally, as we always used to say, that we should focus on each and every learner, inclusivity, having a equity standard that also needed to be maintained over here very clearly. And that's why we can say that the guidelines or the standard protocols, what you are going to observe in the e-content book, or you can say the guidelines, it's not more, I mean, it's not only the guideline, it's basically architectural pillars. If we are in a position to have a complete understanding of all these pillars, we will be in a position to have an audit, we will be in a position to have an authentic evaluation for each and every video program.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now coming towards one more point, because sometimes we used to find words are little bit critical, words are little bit more terminologically strong. So even I had tried to provide over here some operational checklist also.
Okay.
It's very common. That is an operational checklist. Means if we are going to work with any sort of video, whether we are making it, whether we are in a process of making it, whether we had developed and we are required to be given a chance to evaluate it, we could have a checklist also. With the same points what we have in the standard one, content validity, we can able to observe whether there is a factual accuracy or not. Because it seems that video seems appealing. It's very common. You also just observe it, the content. You just observe the content of the skeleton. But it's not compulsory that you can able to identify that the content which has been given over here is accurate or not.
Yeah.
So that is important. Second thing, updation, up to date or not. We are going to talk about that we have these many information. It might get updated. Plus syllabus mapping. Because when we are going to talk about syllabus, when we are going to talk about the video resources, we should have a proper understanding that does it directly address the specific learning outcomes or not. So, and for this is very common things. It is not been like that it is having a very hard word, very terminological, very abstract words. Second, when we are going to talk about the pedagogical, we can say the first foremost thing, target group. If I am aiming to prepare a content which is very good, but it might be possible that is not good for the standard, but that particular standard. So in that case, that video might be considered as a good, but might be not pedagogically designed for that particular target. And plus, difficulty level as well as relevance. If I want to give an example of culture of India, Indianness, indigenous, it's very, very important for us to provide information, to provide ecosystem of Indian also. Then only we will be in a position to relate with our learner.
Yeah.
Is technical point, if I want to talk about, of course, is giving us some sort of technical thought, resolution standards, audio mixing, that how we are going to have a voiceover, plus whether the fonts, whether the images, whether the visuals are appealing or not, whether it is appropriate or not. It seems Times New Roman is very good, but is it compulsory that every time only Times New Roman will be good? So that also needed to be understood very well. And finally, the inclusivity ethics, we talk about a language, we talk about the biasness, because other than the content validity, if we are going to talk about the part of the bias, inclusivity, we need to understand that we should have a biasness check also, so that we are focusing everyone, or either if we are coming in such a manner that it should not go in such a manner that we are not focusing to any particular group. We will try to make it in such a manner. And of course, the last part is accessibility, that you had also mentioned, that we can able to observe the captions also. It might be bad, it might be wrong. That is a possibility, but that does not mean like that it is not a resource. That is also a resource, and that also is a basic part when we are going to talk about the video resources.
Right.
Now one more point has been over there, because we are talking about the video resources. So even it has a multimedia learning also. It's a part of multimedia learning, and with that we can able to identify the 3 basic points you can able to observe. Practice weeding. Weeding means what sort of visual I am giving with what sort of information.
Okay.
I'm just given a very basic example that cartoon seems very good. I suppose you also like cartoons.
Yeah.
The child also like cartoons.
Yes.
Even as a person, we also sometimes love to see cartoons, but with the skeletal system, we have a cartoon. Will it go?
No.
That's what it steals the mental energy, because we have a complete understanding, you can say, cognition over there for the skeletal system. Cartoon might not work over there.
Yes.
Yes, but the human being can work over there. Even the old age person also. So that is important. Second thing, the anchor, the expert is explaining any particular sentence. For example, I am giving this particular presentation only with the help of whole technical team.
Yes.
And the deck is not showing this one. We used to get a confusion.
Yeah.
What we are teaching, kya padhaya ja raha hai? So that is also very important over here, that we should have a learning link. If that is not being maintained, it can be broken. You can able to see, I just highlighted it with the red color, because it is it's not red flag, it is a red font. So that's what I try to present over here. Personalization, that check the script. You need to observe the script very well, that it talks about a learner, to the learner, for the learner. It's not about just a good editing. And scientifically, we used to call it as a brain-based learning design. We are not, that's why in the starting point, I suppose I just informed you very prominent way that it is an engineering. It has not been considered as not considered as only simplicity, or we had did a very good editing. So that also is very important part over here. So point is required to be noticed over here, because we are talking about India, where we have 1.4 billion people. Now, when we are going to take care, when we are going to work of these many level, the education video is not just a file. It's not an MP4 file now. It is a national asset.
Yeah.
And when it is going to pass with these many points, the first effort has been given for its preparing. That's all we have understood how we can prepare it, what care we require to take care, what care we need to take care of while we are preparing. We had also understood how we are going to have a procedure. These all things had been happened. That's what you were saying for the last 5 days also it has been happening. So now, when it is going to be passed with all these checklists, it is now no longer only a content. It is a certified pedagogical tool, or you can say a learning object, certified learning object. But now another concern has been there. Earlier also we had started with one challenge. Again one concern is going to come. Such type of tool also, if it is going to be locked in a server room, it's useless.
Useless, yes.
It can't come out of by its own and it just come to that particular learner that okay, I'm a resource, you just learn me. No, it's not going to be happening.
And the biggest question is, why so much of resources and time and energy has been invested into it?
This is a practical question which is going to be asked by anybody, that why I will give this much of effort for that particular resource where I'm not confirm enough that for whom I had prepared, whether it is reaching till that level or not. And that's where, to give a impact, we must move it towards dissemination. Yes, that's where the role of dissemination is coming. And when, because every time I prefer to go towards the scenario in India, in the academic context, dissemination is not at all only sharing and uploading. that we need to understand now. It is a strategic, systematic deployment designed to overcome the barriers. That's why we started with the challenge, we started with the concern. And it is required that in country like India, where we have this much of diversity, it should go with the digital divide.
Right.
Yes. Now when we are going to talk about the contextualizing the dissemination over here, it is important to understand with the context of digital divide. I'm not going to make you understand very much what is a digital divide. It's already been known and already we can understand it. But when we are going to talk about the dissemination, it plays a very important role.
Yeah.
We don't just say it's on website and go and watch it. It's a very layman language. No, that is considered as a passive. That what it used to happen in the classroom also. Teacher is preparing too much. They used to go into the classroom. They did well at their own part. But why we are focusing on active engagement? Why we are focusing on the active learner? Because true dissemination is active in nature, where it is engineered process of building the bridges, whether we are going to talk about digital or physical, to ensure that the content cross that particular gap and it will come from the physical towards the accessibility towards all the public. Now, when we are going to talk about contextualizing the dissemination, because normally we used to think like that dissemination means providing it. Over here, I just try to give a very brief point: strategic deployment, objective, concern. Strategic deployment talks about distribution of validated resources. Of course, we need to take it very carefully, validated resources to our specific audience or target audience. Objectivity, because we need to take care of equity of access. And concern, because many times it used to happen when we used to aiming to provide a very high quality of video, it have a one more feature of a bandwidth intensity.
Yeah.
This is also we need to understand, and that's why it might be possible that in the rural areas or in the remote areas, or there are so many areas in our country where it could fluctuate. So that's also very important, that during dissemination we can't rely on this point only, that if we had did it in a very best way, if we had evaluated in a very standard way, we need to provide it and it will reach.
No.
We have to proceed
Yes.
quite little bit more further, and for that, if I'm going to talk about India as an Indian education system, one point is very important: one size fits all approach might not work every time.
Absolutely.
That is one of the major thing. Second thing, we need to follow the NEP 2020 mandate, which talks about infrastructural agonistic architecture, and I can say, and we need to accept, in that case also CIET-NCERT works a lot. I can provide few examples over here, because right now we are focusing majorly on evaluation and dissemination. The first platform what I want to proceed over here is a DIKSHA, that is a One Nation, One Digital platform, which tries to work as a user-centric, where a learner can scan a QR code. I had also tried to give one QR code, and in their physical textbook, we have our textbook, in that we have a QR code, and instantly the learner will be in a position to proceed themselves for the particular video resource.
Yeah.
So it's not always been like that, that I had kept it on a website and the student will keep on observing, keep on searching. No, it's not like that. Not only with the help of keyword. Over here, directly they can scan it and they can proceed towards there. Plus, it can allow for deep learning. It can also give a chance for a learner to pause, rewind, have a quiz, because we have that option also over there. And it can transform, in a one line I can say, static textbook or a book to a dynamic window, where they are having so many scope to work over there. Second, if I want to talk about PM eVidya, that is also one of the great initiative from our side. That is, PM eVidya can be considered as a satellite shield. It is actually having a dedicated TV channels. Why I'm using the word dedicated? Because 24/7 we are working on it.
Yeah.
We are keep on working on it, and we can bypass even here the internet also.
Yeah.
Plus, can beam the same evaluated video from the satellite towards the TV. That's what is the beauty of when we want to understand about dissemination. Plus, even during the pandemic, this is one example I just want to quote over here, when the schools closed, servers were crashing many times, the satellite signal is never get failed, and that is a resilient dissemination. It is also a part of a dissemination. So only the making videos, only evaluating it might not provide us the best result until and unless we have the hybrid mode also.
True.
That is in some areas, because in India when we are going to talk about, we have the geographical disseminations also. So in that case, if we are going to have the high Himalayas or a deep forest where even the TV signals are also might be not very strong,
strong.
that is a possibility. Radio and offline servers can also work. And that what is important for us to understand when we are going to talk about dissemination. That a teacher can carry a hard drive also with the entire year's curriculum over there in the video format.
Yes.
And we can say in a one line, from the fiber optics to the satellite to physical drive, we can ensure zero exclusion.
Right.
That is the fourth standard, if you can able to observe in our evaluation. It was been there, inclusivity.
Yes.
That can be observed over here. And dissemination, but I mean one thing that is very much important, dissemination is not going to end till the level of a teacher, because the final learning is happening in classroom. Basic learning, final learning, concrete learning, and it is actually the beginning of the classroom transaction. And for that also we have an initiative Nishtha, where a video on a screen does not, that we can rely on that such type of initiatives which only not train teachers to just play the video. It is actually making them to understand what is the importance of video, how they can pause it, they can question it, and even they can provide feedback also.
Yeah.
They can also update themselves, because that is also is a part of a content validity. Every time we can't evaluate from our part until and unless it will not go till the learner, we will be not in a position to say that the video is flawless or video is having a complete level of a content validity.
True.
So at the end, or you can say the basic line what I want to say over here, that we have built a digital highways, that is disseminations. We have a safety check also. Don't worry, we also have that tolls over here. But the driver is finally you, who is going to utilize it, who is going to use it. So don't let these resources to stay on the server. That might be the best server. It's okay. That might be the best in terms of technical, but don't let these resources to stay on the server. Adopt them, adapt them to your local language, to your local area, to your local context, and access them also if they work for you. And that's why we need to understand the cycle of quality of any video resource begins in the studio from its making, but at the end it gets completed in the classroom only. That is one of the major things. And over here, classroom is not at all only been talking about the school classroom. Classroom is basically where we are having a classes, where we are having a teaching, where the learner is present to have a zeal to learn something.
With a digital device.
Exactly. That's what we need to understand.
Because we're talking about the evaluation, dissemination of video resources, and what a presentation it was, where we learned about the technicalities, we learned about the simplicity, we learned about the evaluating aspects, and how dissemination only makes sense when it is reaching the last mile learner or it is reaching the targeted audience. So, ma'am, now with this, we have reached, climax of this session, but now we are left with Q&A session.
Yes.
There are certain questions from our viewers and from my side as well, because it's a culmination of this entire training program that we are conducting since Monday. So, there's so many things that you have talked about in your presentation. First of all, though you have already covered these things, you've touched upon these topics also, but still like kind of a recap, we can take it. How do you think, ma'am, we can evaluate our video resources when it comes to, take the learner's feedback or take into consideration the engagement metric or even the alignment with NEP recommendations.
Exactly. So that question which have been provided by you is basically, that's what I was keep on telling, that when we are going to talk about dissemination, the active dissemination involved this point. The active dissemination is basically not going to be only till the level it reached to the learner.
Yes.
The learner is going to get an opportunity that they can provide a feedback.
Absolutely.
Yes. Of course, I can understand one thing, and it is a technical feasibility, or you can say the fidelity also, that every time we can't get it from each and every platform. That is possible. But if the video resources is been given from such a platform from where the learner have a scope to provide a feedback, from there we can able to get that information. And one more good thing I want to tell you, because this is a feature and this is a characteristic of a video, we can edit it. That is one of the basic, and what I can say a very say a benchmark feature you can have, that we can able to edit it. We can able to update it. We can able to make a change in it. It might be possible something had gone in a wrong way. It might be possible. Human error is common. It's not a big deal. But still, we have a scope to change it. We have a scope to add it also. Absolutely. We can make the same video with two different contexts. We used to observe that the one video could be given in the English, it could be given in the Hindi. Even you had observed that captions were there. Captions could be of different languages. So if we know that we have a learner of that particular video of a different languages, we can add it. That's where the dissemination can play a role to provide a feedback, and it is basically at the final stage is a part of evaluation only. Absolutely. Because now at this point the evaluation is not from the developer, from creator. It is an evaluation from the user point of view.
Of course, from the user point of view, and we can also collect the data. You know, there are certain tools for dissemination or evaluation, like we have analytics. We can also collaborate with our peers and we can get the feedback from the users through them. So, let's talk about certain tools for evaluation, ma'am.
For example, many times we used to have, you might have observed, we used to have a mail IDs.
Yeah.
We used to have a chat box. Right now we were having, right now you have just asking that if anybody have any sort of question. Although we are talking from one place where so many people are observing us, so many people are listening to us. True. And it might be possible they can't be in a position to connect directly. It seems like that, but with the help of chat, they can connect to us. And that is what is a part of it. That is what we can able to observe. Even many times it used to happen in many video resources you might have observed, there is a points also, it has been given, where the learner can click it. They can have a discussion forum. They can ask the question, and that is not disturbing any other learner also. The other learners can proceed at their life. It is some sort of what I was talking about, personalization. So it might be possible that at one point the learner might be having any sort of difficulty. They can click over there. That is sort of technical usability we can provide, and then the discussion forum could be given. And it might be possible that the person who might be knowing the answer but might be not an expert, even that person can also give an answer. That all sort of ecosystem can be provided over here, and at the end of the day it is going to be enhance the quality of a video resource only.
True. Ma'am, you mentioned some of the platforms, I would say social platforms through which we disseminate videos. I want to ask you, what according to you is the best platform to share these videos? Because once we prepare them, we want to reach them masses. We want to have them a global reach. Do you think YouTube is the only platform?
YouTube can be considered as one of the famous platforms. We could have a TV. We could have a radio, we could have a channels, even mobile applications. We have even for the eVidya, for DIKSHA, we have a mobile applications also, which is particularly been confined for that particular platform, that particular content only. So it totally depends how the user want to proceed. Might be the user is interested to learn only for 1 to 2 hours from only one media. So in that case, if the student or a learner will go from the application purpose, the focus will be very clear. It might be possible the student wants to go with the YouTube. Okay, so in that case the bandwidth matters. With a very low bandwidth, the learner can get information, and even the YouTube also give access for the downloading also. Even our platforms also, when we are talking about eVidya, when we are going to talk about the NISHTHA, there are many courses, there are many, I can say, videos have been there which can be downloadable. And once it is downloadable, then you can say it is the whole and soul, your own repository can be prepared with the point, with the concern it can be updated also.
Absolutely. Well, we have created video resources after a lot of hard work, and now we are into the process of evaluating them ourselves and through the users. Dissemination is a very important part. Do you think to increase the dissemination, we can actually boost engagement by certain techniques and tools, like through thumbnails or inviting likes
Emojis.
and comments? So, what according to you is the best way to do the same?
Yes. See, it could be done depending upon the platform. Now the platform matters in this case, that what sort of platform and how the learner is being over here, how the engagement of the learner is over here. If the learner is going to be over here in an asynchronous manner, so of course there is a possibility that the learner will not get the answer instantly. But when it is going to come in the synchronous manner, there is a strong level of a possibility that the learner is staying 2,000 miles away. I'm saying little bit less only, even the 4,000 or 5,000 miles away also. But with the help of the synchronous manner, a learner can get the answer instantly in a 5 minutes.
Right.
That also been possible. For that, the learner has no boundary like that, that I have to be in a physical mode, I have to be in a face-to-face mode. That sort of flexibility, when it has been possible to be given to the learner, it will be more easier to have an evaluation of the higher level. Other than that, when we are going to talk about the media, medium could be anything, but yes, one thing I want to say over here, it should be authentic.
Authentic, of course, and it will automatically boost the engagement then.
Exactly. For the boosting also, and one of the major thing for the content validity also. And for one more thing, we require to have authentic information, we require to have an authentic understanding, and we require to have, because when we are getting information, it's not like that it is going to reach till my level. It has to be get disseminated. Might be the possible that I'm being right now in a link with the 10 teachers, but those 10 teachers might be having a link with the 100 more people.
Absolutely.
So in that case, authenticity matters. So it will be much better if we will focus on dissemination, this digital highways from the authentic sources, from the authentic ways, and then only we will work on it. Then I can say very well, then we can say very well that the resources are not stayed on a useful server, but it disseminated in a proper manner.
Ma'am, you also mentioned in your conversation that videos can be edited. We can add on certain features also. And when we create the videos, when we do the dissemination process, we're also looking forward to the feedbacks. Because there is always a scope for improvement. How do you think one should handle feedback? What should one do after receiving the feedback?
Yes. So once after we are going to receiving the feedback, because that's what I just want to say over here, because yes, one thing has been there. I had already given a little bit of emphasis on it. That is a subjective opinion. That can come, and for that it is required, it will be, I can say, preferable that we should follow the standard protocols. That the standard protocols which talks about that what sort of things can be considered, because opinion could be like that. It might be possible that it will be good for me, not for you. It might be possible it is good for third person, not for fourth person. But the first and foremost thing is that if we have a standard protocols, if we are going to follow the standard, we will be in a position to provide the best to our maximum learners. And even after some time, many times it used to happen that when we are going to observe the videos, we seems that this could be in this way, this could be in this way. But when we know the standard protocol, we will be in a position to understand that yes, the way it has been given is absolutely right. Yes, one more thing I want to just add over here with the due permission from you.
Sure.
As much as we will have a transparency in providing the resources, that for which grade it will be, for which target audience it is catering, which language it is catering. If we have a complete clarity, that also help the learner to understand and to evaluate at their end in a very proper manner, and to give a authentic feedback also.
Absolutely. And I think though feedback definitely matters, views also matters, but let's create for learners and not for views.
Yes. Right? That is also very important. Views, of course it is important. We can't deny it that it is important, because as much as the views reaches, it is some sort of giving a, I can say, incentive to the creator.
Yes.
At the creator end, we can consider it as a part of incentive. Because one sort of thought we can have that if the views are there, the feedbacks, the chances of feedback will be more. We can say that probability of getting a feedback will be more.
Yes,
So
yes.
in that case, if the 100 views are there, 200 views are there, I'm just giving a brief now, I mean just a layman number. And still if we are getting a positive responses, it gave a positive incentive to the creator that we can proceed for such type of learning as much as been possible. So that also matters, I can say. But of course, we should not only go for that.
Only go for the
Yes,
views.
yes,
Let's
yes.
keep it learner centric first of all, because
Yes.
that's the main approach, and we can say in the end that you must create and create smartly, and make sure you disseminate the same equally brilliantly, so that your content is reaching the millions or billions and across the globe, and it is serving the purpose of reaching the last mile learner at his or her doorstep, at his or her pace, space, time and convenience, as we always say that. So ma'am, any final tip that you would like to share, because it's the culmination of this wonderful journey where we learned all about development of video resources. Anything that you would like to share, any tip for the video creators out there?
Yes. Okay. Well, for video creation, first of all, I think, and I will say, I preferably to say follow the standard protocols, because once the standard protocols will be followed, automatically it is going to be considered as the part, as a, I mean, what I can say, disseminative, it could be considered as a quality part from the learner side also. Then if you are going to get it, once it is get prepared, it is evaluated, it is going to be get given to the disseminated properly, even at the user part also, again try to observe the standard protocols and always be ready to update as well as be ready to accept the update.
Accept the update. Oh, wow, what a line. Yeah, of course.
That also is very important.
Very important, ma'am. And what you shared is brilliant, and I'm sure that it's going to leave an indelible impression on the minds of our viewers. They will be creating excellent videos, evaluating them and disseminating them in the best possible manner. Thank you so much for your time and contribution.
Thanks a lot.
So dear viewers, with this we have reached the climax of this training program, and of course for day 5 session, where we talked about evaluation and dissemination of video resources. And now, as I promised in the beginning, it's a training program, so let me give you all the updates regarding the assessment. Let's have a look at our website, which is CIET-NCERT.gov.in, that you can definitely type and land upon this page. It's our home page. You must go to the activities section and click on the option of workshop and training. When you scroll down, you will find some activities going on, and we are concerned with the development of video resources. This is our current activity. When you click on the same, you land upon this page, which is a 5-hour online training on development of video resources. Time and again, we have reiterated that whatever training module we have devised, whatever schedules we are planning, they are in alignment with the recommendations of NEP 2020. So National Education Policy 2020 is definitely focusing on blended approach, blended learning, and video resources is one of the best ways to learn. Throughout this journey, we have learned that how there are different stages of creating videos, and today we have reached the culmination. It's a very important journey, especially for teachers who want to create videos, because as ma'am also mentioned in the session that in India we do have a digital divide, but again we can always try to bridge the gap and to reach the learners, to reach the masses. In case you haven't watched all the videos, you please go to this page and you can see this entire write-up on why we are having this video resource development training program, what is the importance of e-content and how it is contributing to the overall convenience and efficiency of the teaching process. That has been our main agenda, main focus area throughout this journey. This is the entire schedule that we have taken up. Day-wise sessions are here along with the titles. Now, who can participate? This session, this training program, it is meant for everybody. Student, teachers, parents, administrators and all those who are interested, members from general public can participate. These are the objectives of the training program which you can go through, and you can get a fair idea why we are conducting it. Now, here is the program schedule. If you have missed out on watching live sessions, we have uploaded the video links of our programs here along with the title of the sessions and name of the resource persons who were present during the sessions. Now, let's scroll down, and here comes the most important part, how to participate. I'm sure most of you have already registered. So, if you have registered and you're watching these sessions very carefully on all these platforms, next step is to participate in the post-assessment. Once the session gets over, the assessment course will be released. It will stay open till 15th of March 2026. These are the guidelines that you need to go through before attempting the assessment. There are certain objective questions or MCQs which you can attempt, and if you score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate that you can download from DIKSHA portal. Also, it's very important for us to receive your feedback. See, we were talking about the feedback, for the video programs that we develop in the presentation, and for this training program also, we want a feedback for the same. Click on the link or scan this QR code. And on a daily basis, whenever you're watching this training session, you can log on here to training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in or give us a call and submit your feedback. This training program in English language has been completed this week. Next week, we will be coming up with the same training program but in the Hindi language or in the bilingual mode. You can check out the same as well. Also, now let me tell you about the upcoming program. So, here is the program schedule that you can watch on your screen. It's true with our online training program, and we wish you all the very best for the assessment. Up next is your Sahyog session, where we will be talking about my body, my alarm system, and the physical side of emotion. And then we will have a session on school leadership development by NCSL NEPA. Topic is right there in front of you. We will be having a guest from Goa. So please stay tuned, and with this is a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you, and we'll join you soon. Namaskar.